Yeah, Andre Wade was just released once again. Just come to reminisce about some things. Praying peace upon y'all families today. Praying peace upon those who are incarcerated, men, women, and teenagers. I thought it would be good to bring on a video today because it's time. It's time, basically. I'm doing good, people. I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. Doing okay with parole. Having the piss test every week for 2 months. You know, them kind of things, that put a strain on you sometime because, you know, they look for you to go to the AA and NA classes. They want you to be there when they want you to be there, not when you can get there, but they want you to be there. So, you know, I'm going through that stage. I'm doing pretty good with my medical condition. Right now, I'm trying to get my foot, and so I can get out this wheelchair. Good things are going on in my life that I'm thankful for, and it's just going through the motion, and sometimes which really bring a person, you know, kind of down, you know, because, you know, you're dealing with some people that has that negative vibe that you can't coincide with, and you look for the fastest way to get them up out your life, you know. But all is well, and but today I thought I'd talk about why punks fight in the penitentiary, why it's more fights that go on inside the institutions right now are punks, men that messes with punks, and it's crazy because them punks fights can get real violent. They can get real violent inside the institution, and a lot of those because, man, them punks are really messy, you know, in prison. Now I can't say out here in society because I don't deal with punks on the regular at all out here in society. But when you're in prison, in some form, you have to deal with them because they either work with you, or you have some that lives on the tank with you, and you're gonna come in contact in some matter with the punks. But the punks, man, they man, and I ain't talking about them real Philomens, the Philemon kind, cause you know them they get beat up. Them little Philemons, they get beat up. They go to crying and I want to be fight. And them rough punks, them rough ones, and them kind that go out and turn some hard dudes out. I'm talking about turn hard dudes out. I had a partner, and he had an old punk, you know what I'm saying, that basically he called his wife, and they started working out on weights and stuff. He had the punk out there working out. The punk was getting cut up and all this here, looking like a hawk in a sense. And he just sitting up there, you know what I'm saying. One day we was all up there in the chow house, me and another guy and my partner and his punk. We all sitting at the table, and my partner, he was trying to get smart in front of the punk and all this. Next thing you know, the punk, bam, spurred him, and he didn't even hit the punk back. That's how you know when them punks can put their hands on you, and you ain't putting your hands on them for putting their hands on you, you doing something strange. You doing something strange. They got some information on you. They got something on you that won't make you act out. So you doing something in that relationship that don't seem right. You know, getting yourself up, doing the boy. You know, say the punks they turn dudes out. They turn them out. I'm talking about literally turn them out, and it might, you know, because they say, you know, if two men lay down how they go. They said something about if two men lay down, two punks get up, something like that. But they fight. They fight on protection. Protection in prison is it shouldn't even be called protection, because they the ones doing all the fighting. You know, when you hear you might see in the new units they have protection in the building of its own, and each building is separated. You know, they got like 3 and 4 building. On the B side you have 7 and 8. On the outside you have the dorms. Well, on 3 building is where the punks are, mostly on the new units, and they you can see the officers when they running towards 3 building, and they be running towards 3 building. Hey, people, I'm talking about maybe 4 times out of the day on different shifts. And a lot of times, sometimes it don't be really the punks. It might be they husbands, they so-called husbands that's fighting because the punk done had sex with the other punk man, and they done found out, you know, and it's them crazy relationship. Now, if you a viewer of mine, right, and you've been on protection, and you know how it is living on protection, and I'm tell you something. That's really protection. Really is a sad place to be, I think. I remember a time when they was moving. I was on B side. I was on 7 building, and 7 building was mostly medium custody. So they was moving 7 building to 3 building, moving the punks to all the 7 to B side. They wanted them out for A side. So they wanted them on B side where medium custody and close custody was. So when they moved us to this part, this part was so filthy. I mean, when we got into the day room, we came into the day room, you can see hundreds of diapers. And I'm like, man, what's up with all these diapers? And that meaning that, you know, them punks that had them diapers, they couldn't hold that mud no more. They had them loose valves, so they had to wear them pampers. Because ain't no telling when they might boo-boo on themselves. And then, you know, people that had AIDS and stuff, they did a lot of boo-booing on themselves. And you know, it's sad because you see those people, you can't really see them on protection because they separated from population. But when they go to like the infirmary or they go to chow, you see them. You see them in the hallways. You see them at the infirmary. And these people be really sick, man. They be sick. And you know what's crazy is that you have some dudes in population that have relationships with the punks that's sick. Yeah, I mean, you know, prison is really upside down in a sense, because you have a certain class of people in prison that's really trying to better themselves and get out of prison. Then you have a percentage of people in prison that indulge in the homosexual thing, and they truly live for it and look for it on a daily basis. And you know, you see them, they hug, they kiss in the hallways, and you know, you see them in the law library, and then they kissing, they catching the bathrooms and doing, you know, they must had to, in some units they had to take the doors, the bathroom doors off of the doors so that they can practically see what's going on in the restroom. Because man, I'm talking about, you line to walk in the restroom and they line to have 3 couples up in there having sex in the restroom in the infirmary. And you know, and that's crazy because, like I say, everybody don't indulge in the homosexual thing, but there's a quarter of people that's in prison that does, and it's a very large quarter of people that does. And you look at healthy men that get involved in relationships with the punks that look healthy but don't be healthy. Don't be healthy. Some of them come out of sex, some of them come from another facility looking all healthy. That's just because they've been locked up, right? They've been locked up in seg or something, and they done gained a lot of weight, but they sick. And you know, and that's a chance that you taking with your life when you dealing with them. And like I say, they so messy, right? Say like one might catch a dude, and this dude is probably a regular, a person that I might deal with on a daily basis, who always saying, man, I don't fuck with them punks, I'm messing with no punks, I don't mess with no punk. And this becomes a nature of their conversation, but all the time their nature is of the punk, and that's what they want. And when you have that desire for another man, that's where you're gonna go to. You're gonna turn to that because the desire lies in you, and those punks, right? The punks know who to go at. They know who to go with, and they know the circumstances of how they dealing with them people that so-called saying what they don't do with punks, right? Because it's for each his own with me, right? And I did a lot of years, and I just, you know, maybe at a point of my time, I probably would have really indulged in a relationship with a punk, but they had women in prison. They had women in prison, right? And the women in prison was choosing. I'm talking about the officers. They was choosing. So now I'm in that position where I can have a female. I can have a female in prison. So that was my desire, and that's what I had liked it, because I really enjoyed the relationships that I had with women in prison, and all of it wasn't basically on sex or nothing like that. It was just being able to communicate with a woman on a daily basis that came to work, and she came excited because she came to see me, right, Andre, and she looked forward of seeing me on a daily basis, regardless on what woman that I was dealing with, either a nurse or officer. I had one in my life, and but the punks never had anything negative or bad to say about me, because see, punks, let's say you mess with a punk, right, and you trying to hide it, and let's say there's a female that like you, and you might have had sex with that punk that always conversate with that female officer, and she gonna ask her about you, and that punk is gonna tell it. That punk is gonna tell what y'all did, how big your piece is. The punk is gonna give you up. So that's gonna knock you out the box with the female. But I done seen dudes that had punks and females. So he must been that kind of guy, you know. But I seen so much in prison to the point where I felt like some of them punks should have been shot or stabbed, right? They had this punk named Baby Doll. Baby Doll was an ugly ass punk. This was an ugly punk. But Baby Doll kept a man. Kept him a man. And will snitch on anything. I remember when I was on East End, because I was on a couple units with Baby Doll, and I remember when I was on East End with him, they had a guy that Baby Doll worked in the kitchen. So the law had got busted, so they thought Baby Doll was the one that told it. So the dude went and bust baby doll head. Bam, bust his head open. He didn't die, but he got his wig split. Come to find out, it wasn't even baby doll that did the snitching. It was another dude out of Houston, out of 3rd Ward. He ended up busting his head too, but he ended up getting segged behind that. But he got away with busting baby doll head. So dude went and told him, say, man, that wasn't even baby doll the one told it. So the dude said, well, it don't matter. He should have been and got his head split. He should have been and got his head split because baby doll was going to tell him. And I couldn't, I just couldn't understand how some of these cats that was dealing with baby doll wouldn't hurt baby doll behind some of the things he had told on some people, and laws and inmates. And they had another one. They had so many punks that would snitch on a person, and a lot of them had got hurt. A lot of them had got hurt behind snitching, and it was crazy because they continue to do it even after they get hurt, get beat down or whatever. And sometime I had a partner, a real good partner, and he worked in the shower room where they pass your clothes out. When you go in the shower, they pass out clothes. And I witnessed a guy who was real straight. He was real straight, and he started messing with this punk, and the punk was sick, so he ended up catching HIV. He died so fast. And the punk was still living when I got released out of prison. This punk was still living, and I just didn't understand how a lot of them punks, they had AIDS but was still living. They were still living, and I can name so many of them that I knew, and some of the punks wasn't messy. They believed in one relationship, but you know how that go, because a punk have a certain type of desire, and they would take chances having sex with another guy while being in a relationship with another man, and by being that way, you're gonna hear about it, or you gonna get caught, and them dudes be so in love, right? They be so in love that, man, I mean, they just zero out, they just zap out, they be ready to kill you, kill the punk. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about truly hurt you behind one of these dudes. They will hurt you behind a punk. I'm talking about seriously. And and I've seen guys get out of population. They get out of population and go move on protection. And when you go through that, you have to go to classification, right? Because to be on PC, you have to tell them that you are gay. You have to tell them that you gay, and men are trying to rape you in population because they know you gay. You got to belittle yourself as a man to get over here with another man, and that's crazy. That's crazy because what's gonna happen? Like my partner, I had a partner, man, Jazz, a little old dude, man, good looking dude, could have had any woman in prison. And I'm talking about, but he loved the punks, right? So he had a Mexican punk, and he ended up placing himself on protection, and then he had gotten in the cell with the punk. Him and this punk was sellers. So the punk now, he's not in population, so he don't go a lot of places. He stayed at the cell, right? He stayed at the cell. He acting like the punk now, staying in the house, and the punk is going everywhere. They're going everywhere. Thailand, going to all kind of church things and whatever they got to meet up with another dude. And the other dude, come to find out, he was a Crip. and was a he had leeway. So when the Crips found out that the dude was messing with the Mexican punk, and the Mexican punk had a husband, so called, which was my homeboy, and my homeboy had a lot of money. He had a lot of money, and so he went to commissary, bus commissary, do all kinds of stuff. He had all kind of stuff going on, and the Mexican punk was taking his money and giving it to the Crip dude. So the Crip dude living large. He ain't tripping because he living off this punk money, but the Crip niggas is tripping because he messing with the punk but saying he don't. Well, he ended up getting caught one day, and he got violated real bad. He got violated real bad. It don't matter what you are in a gang, if you get caught messing with them punks, you're gonna get violated. You're gonna get violated, or you're gonna get ran off the unit. And so the boy got violated, and now my homeboy found out why the dude got violated, and now he know what the Mexican punk been doing with his money. So here he is. He beat the Mexican down and ended up getting sigged. And when they get sigged, he back there, can't help himself really back there and sigged, and some dudes jacked him for some stuff. Now he writing us out there in population to try to catch up with the dudes that done messed over him back there in SIG, and ain't nobody really is gonna go out their way for a guy that they knew put himself out there, put himself in SIG, put himself on protection and all that, you know. And it's hard really to turn somebody down that you really know. But when they take themselves through some madness, because relationship with punks, I feel, is madness in that manner. Because like I say, I knew punks, right? And I communicated with a lot. I went to school with them. I worked with them. I laughed. It was a whole lot that I did. But the punks know who to go at. They know who to go at. They know who to deal with. And then when you give them that reason, to come on to you, then that's because you initiated that. And they know, because they be ready, man. They be ready for something fresh. And when you're fresh, they love it, man. And then they gonna tell they partners and they partners, and they gonna be coming at you because they know what you about. See, you can hide it from us, but you can't hide it from them. I had a partner that I used to sell a lot of tobacco. He sold a lot of tobacco. He sold pounds of weed. So I was SSI, so I was able to go to medium custody, go to close custody, and deal with these dudes. So I noticed when I've been coming, because a lot of dudes on Styles, it was on Styles unit, they jacked their doors. A lot of them people on the unit had their doors jacked on B side. So when I started going over to my little partner cell a lot, I see he got a punk in the cell, and it tripped me out. I came in there, and at first it was like he wasn't trying to let me in, right? And then he just got to that point where he couldn't stop me from coming in. So when I come in, I see the punk. The punk is out of place, belong on protection, is in his cell. I'm talking about in his cell regularly. So I already see it, because I'm old enough and I've been around, so I already see something going on, because you ain't gonna just have no punk sitting in your cell chilling. And the punk look like he living up in here, and he got some things he done brought to the cell that he got in your cell with your cellie. Now the punk bringing a partner. So if the punk bringing a partner with him, what that mean? He bringing somebody for his cellie. So now they up in there, and now everybody know what's going on, man. He in a relationship. So the punk done turned the little old dude out. Now what took place is they end up fighting. They fighting because the punk done told everybody his business of what they doing, and he's still denying it. So they end up squabbling. A fight, a punk fight. Because I already know that my little homie was having sex with that dude, and that dude wasn't lying. That dude wasn't lying. You know why he wasn't lying? Because after all they went through, the fights and everything, they got back together and was together. Now it's in the open. Now he don't feel embarrassed anymore. Everybody know it. Even his sister in the world, because his partner told it on him. He had a partner from the world, told it on him. And this kind of stuff, you look at that goes on with punks, and like I say, they messy, because soon as you end up pissing one of them off or something, they're gonna tell it on you. They're gonna give you up. Whatever you did with that punk is gonna tell it on you. And I've seen some dudes stab punks. I've seen some punks stab dudes. I've seen this go on a lot while I was locked up, and I hear that it's still going on in prison right now today on maximum security units where they have protection. On a lot of units, they move with protection right now. They moving them to other facilities. They trying to die down the violence that's going on protection. Violence. They use the word violence on PC. On protection, man, they use the word violence because the punks are violent. The men that's dealing with the punks are violent, and they having real bad violent fights among these relationships of men. And it's crazy because how can somebody turn a man out? A man. How can a man turn a man out? Hey, ain't no telling what I might come back with next. Y'all already know when you tell somebody, tell them to hit that like button. Tell them to hit that like button. Because, hey, Just Release ain't just here to go away. I'm here. And I'm going to come. I'm going to come with something. So y'all continue to tell somebody about Just Release. Continue to tell somebody about Just Release. And tell them to hit that like button. Tell them to hit that like button, because ain't no telling what I might come back with next.